Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Los Angeles Rams. Seated next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, this one featuring a couple of playoff teams from a season ago, back at it again in 2019.
And we both felt the confidence from both of these teams, right? They feel like they will be back in the playoffs again, but they shouldn't be overconfident. 7 teams last year made the playoffs that didn't make it the previous year, so you're not assured of going back year after year.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense led out by number 3, Russell Wilson, the franchise's all-time leader in touchdown passes. And the Seahawks, they finished above 500 in all 7 of Wilson's seasons. But this year, a little different. They'll work with a very young receiving core. No Doug Baldwin anymore. In what promises to be a tough NFC West. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Wilson. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
And congratulations on their win last week, but they didn't get a whole lot of time to celebrate it on Sunday. They were right back to work on Monday, but you'll have to do things differently when you prepare for a Thursday night game. Because normally you'll take some time off. Here you get right back to work on the game plan mentally, and probably not put any pads on.
And got his man complete. And that one results in 35 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. From the 30 on second down, Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. It's quite a unit, that's for sure. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
On third down, Carson. Oh, he's got a little daylight. That one good for 14 of the Seahawk first. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clock.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. even more. His second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Blue 60! 54 Yo.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Tyler Higbee. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. So many questions about Todd Gurley in the offseason. How good is the knee? I mean, remember, he had a heavy workload the last couple years, nearly 4,000 yards from scrimmage, 40 total touchdowns, but just 4 carries in the NFC Championship game, 10 in the Super Bowl. So we'll see what kind of usage he gets this season. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a draw play for Gurley. And Gurley, he fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Stafford. And a big loss here as he's taken down with a sack at Ziggy Ansah. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. On the handoff, it's Gurley. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he will be marked down short of the 1st as they get to him at the 29. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
Draw play. This is Carson. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They run the counter. It's Carson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Throwing out, Wilson on first down. It's complete to Lockett. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. 2 minutes to play in this first half, 7-3 our score. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And a penalty flag is down to the backfield as they finally bring him to the turf. But I'm not sure this is going to stand. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here's Wilson, and he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, and that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Wilson, now they go screen, it's complete. There he goes inside the 30.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Again, Wilson completes it to Dixon. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Wilson now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10 and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 12 more yards there and another first down. Wilson will throw again. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
On 2nd and goal, Wilson. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Good matchups all up and down the schedule there. We'll highlight the one in Cincinnati. A big test coming up for the Bengals as they'll square off with the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well. One being over in Arlington, where it'll be America's team, the Cowboys, taking on the Green Bay Packers. And finally, on Monday Night Football, we'll see the Browns and 49ers get after it out in Santa Clara. Meanwhile, in our game, not a lot of offense to go around. 7-3 is our score. Will we see things open up in the second half? To find out, we get it back to our guys in the booth, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Now they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Flush to his right, and he fires one that's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Play action. It's Wilson going for it all. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
I think when they get back in the huddle, the question will be, why did you throw that one? The coverage was incredible all over him. The only thing he didn't do after he caught the ball as a defender was get his feet in bounds. That should have been a turnover.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a third down attempt.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford, he's going to air it out. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And give him a gain of 37.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Eluding the pressure right. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A gain of 32 that time.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. They'll roll him out right toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, my, you know that's one that he'll want to have back. I mean, they did everything right. Got the linebackers commit on the play action. He just flat out missed.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's set. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Ziggy Ansah. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Stafford now to throw. This is caught. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Cooper Kupp, his first touchdown on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough, otherwise they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, They have refined route running ability.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They will run it. It's McKissick. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now it's Wilson. And Dixon has it. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. 1st down, Seahawks.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. From the 44, Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Samson Abukum coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. It's caught right side, Dixon. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going. Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. 1st down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. Stafford now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. They run. It's Gurley. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game. They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
This defense needs a big play in the worst way because so far they're not putting up much of a fight. If they don't get a stop here soon, this game could be over for them.
And he'll go down at the 28. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Gurley. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with exactly 1 minute to go in the football game. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Gurley. It'll be a pickup of 8 and a good first step there with 2nd and goal coming up. Good yardage on 1st down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? They'll try and push it in with Gurley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. And his kick is good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for Los Angeles, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL.